Attorney General Merrick Garland is defending the Justice Department after indictments of former President Trump and President Biden's son, Hunter.
We will not be intimidated. We will do our jobs free from outside influence, and we will not back down from defending our democracy.
The nation's chief law enforcement officer made those remarks during testimony on Capitol Hill, and CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge reports.
From the outset, the Republican-led committee took a combative approach.
The fix is in.
Accusing the Justice Department's special counsel investigations of targeting a former president and going easy on the current president and his son.
There's one investigation protecting President Biden. There's another one attacking President Trump.
In forceful testimony spanning more than 5 hours, Attorney General Merrick Garland pushed back.
I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor. The Justice Department works for the American people.
According to recent closed-door testimony, some officials told congressional investigators they could not recall David Weiss, who has led the probe since 2018, saying he did not have the ultimate authority to charge the president's son.
Do you solemnly swear?
The Attorney General also disputed the testimony and handwritten notes from an IRS whistleblower that Weiss claimed he was not the deciding person, insisting to lawmakers that Weiss had the final say.
I'm going to say again, the determination of where to bring cases and which kinds of cases to bring was left to Mr. Weiss.
While Republican investigators insist over $20 million in payments from foreign sources to the Biden family and their associates, Democrats say the probes are politically motivated.
They have wasted countless taxpayer dollars on baseless investigations into President Biden and his family, desperate to find evidence for an absurd impeachment.
While most of the hearing centered on the special counsel investigation of Hunter Biden, Garland offered no insight into Weiss's decision to seek special counsel status more than 4 years into the case.
Mr. Weiss will have an opportunity to explain.
Catherine Herridge joins me now from Washington. Catherine, this can all get lost pretty quickly in these hearings. Why were Republican lawmakers so focused on this special counsel status designation, and did they learn anything?
Well, Republicans want to know why, after nearly 5 years, David Weiss felt he needed to be elevated to a special counsel after he told Congress in several letters that he was the ultimate decision maker in the case. So they're like, what really changed there? Why did he need that assurance in black and white? And we also learned from the Attorney General that he never considered another candidate for special counsel. You know, John, typically a special counsel is someone who has left the Justice Department. It's an outsider. The idea is to bring in fresh eyes to the evidence. But Garland testified that he was concerned that bringing in a new person would further delay this investigation because they would not be familiar with the evidence. And remember, that IRS investigative team that really handled the evidence from the beginning was recently removed from the case after they became whistleblowers and their allegations.
So what did Democrats spend their time questioning the Attorney General about?
Well, Democrats were keen to get the Attorney General on the record about whether he'd had any direction from the White House. And in one line of questioning, he said point blank, "I've had no direction from the White House." He seemed to equivocate a little bit more about whether he had discussed the investigation with the FBI. Of course, the FBI is under the Justice Department. But Democrats were trying to make the point that this is an independent investigation. And what Garland testified to is that he's been kind of hands off, not only with the Hunter Biden investigation, but also special counsel Jack Smith's investigation of former President Trump.
So would that hands-off posture be consistent with being independent?
Correct. That's the claim that he made before Congress. But this will be further tested in the weeks ahead. The Judiciary Committee has sent a letter this week to the Justice Department asking for transcribed interviews with very senior officials on the probe, including special counsel Weiss. And they've also asked for public testimony from Weiss in the middle of October. Now, Weiss may argue that it's an ongoing investigation and that he's not able to speak to Congress, but they're going to push hard because they believe that there are irregularities here and that Weiss was the one who oversaw the plea agreement that fell apart in that spectacular fashion after there was an independent review from the Delaware judge, and they feel he's not the right person to take this case into the next chapter.
Catherine Herridge in Washington. Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.